Good afternoon, everybody. So I would like to welcome you to this first edition of our scientific lunch and learn. I will be your host today for this event. So let me introduce myself. I'm Kathleen Cote. I'm one of the member of the board meeting of the AQH SST. I have been part of the AQH SST for most 8 years by now, and I was helping either in communication or on the safety fairs or any other kind of help I could offer to support our safety community. As you are all aware, our last year's safety fair was canceled due to the COVID-19 crisis. So we didn't have the chance to offer a forum for any scientific presentation in safety. Indeed, we wanted to ensure this year a platform where we could share on research projects, case studies, scientific approaches, and discoveries from various researchers and students. Therefore, we now propose this series of conferences, which will be presented this May and June to support our scientific communication with peers and with the general public. So we are proud to offer you a conference program dealing with different themes, which we are convinced that will be all appreciated by you. Before starting today's conference, please note that during this presentation, we invite you to use the Zoom tool, the Q&A function that you will find on the bottom of your screen. And there will be also at the end a period for the answer that you may have. So we will have a period to answer to those questions. This conference will be also recorded, and we will send you the link after this presentation. After the presentation, we will also ask you to please evaluate this presentation by using the link that we will provide you in the chat. And these evaluation will be sent to our speaker. So today, we welcome our speaker from ETS, École de Technologie Supérieure, Miss Alimeh Mofidi Naeini. And she is supported by her teacher, Miss Sylvie Nadeau, Associate Professor at ETS2. So Alimeh Mofidi Naeini studied in industrial engineering at IUT in Iran and continued her education in Master of Business Administration at KNTU, still in Iran. She worked in an hydraulic pump production and a telecommunication company of Iran too. Currently, she works in occupational health and safety as well on the operational risk regarding the use of data gloves in manufacturing as a PhD student under the supervision of Professor Sylvie Nadeau at École de Technologie Supérieure de Montréal in Canada.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my presentation titled on Data Gloves in Manufacturing, a review of OHSand Operational Concerns. I'm a PhD student under supervision of Professor Sylvie Nadeau. First, let's have a look into the contents that we have present in this presentation. Firstly, we will provide an introduction for wearables and also data gloves and their application in different areas. Then OHS and operational concerns in designing data gloves will be presented. Following, the methodology for obtaining literature related to the OHS and operational risk of the use of data glove will be presented, and result and future work and the result of the review of the literature and the future studies will be presented at the end. You can see also the references that have been used for preparing this presentation. To have a common idea about wearables, let's have a definition for wearables. An electronic device that besides its primitive functions are worn by a person is called wearable electronic. Development in wearable technologies has increased the possibility for designing a smart and automatic system. This system that these wearables can evaluate and detect people's activities in different conditions. where we studied different articles and paper in wearables, and we could find that different terms such as wearable electronics, wearable devices, wearable sensors, and wearable are used for the same purposes. Therefore, we call them wearables in this study. As you can see in the picture, different kind of wearables can be used for one person, from smart glasses, smart shoes, smart bracelet, and also data glove, which is the main focus of our study. What is a data glove? Data glove is a specific glove that has some sensors inside. The sensors can be optical sensors, ultrasonic sensors, inertial sensors, and so on. The sensors are able to track the movement of fingers and also can provide feedback for the users. This feedback can be haptic feedback, tactile feedback, or other kind of feedbacks. Feedbacks are very important for the use of data gloves. In the picture, you can see two different kind of data gloves that have been used for different purposes. We studied the use of data glove in manufacturing, and we could find studies that have applied data gloves for different purposes. For example, in a study, a data glove had been used for designing. In the last stages of designing, a data glove had been used to provide a 3D design of a product in a virtual reality system. Also, data gloves are used for virtual simulation of assembly tasks in a virtual reality or sometimes in an augmented reality manufacturing system. In a study, data gloves are used for training workers who work in assembly station. They train to assemble objects without going to workshop by using data gloves in a virtual reality system. Also, data gloves have been used for quality control purposes. In a study, we could find that data gloves are used in a car manufacturing, and data gloves are applied for checking the quality of the position of cars, position of the doors of cars in a car manufacturing. It also have been used for check the quality of assembling connectors of cars in another study. Also, we found that Boeing has used data gloves for simulation of assembly tasks. As you may know, there are some maintenance tasks that are very rare, and learning this maintenance task is not easy. Therefore, Boeing used data glove for simulation of this assembly task in aircraft in a study. Also, we could see that data gloves have been applied in robotics also. These days, we can see that different kinds of robots are used in different manufacturing. Therefore, providing input for this robot is very important. In a study, data glove used for providing input for robots. In this way, that a data glove have used to train the robots how to assemble objects, the order of objects, and the dimension and the position of objects is trained to the robot through the data glove. As we saw, there are a lot of applications of data gloves, and this comes to mind that if the use of this data glove might have introduced OHS or operational concerns. Therefore, we went through the literature to find some studies that have considered these OHS and operational concerns. We could find that some studies have considered the OHS and operational concerns in the designing of data gloves, such as choosing appropriate type of sensors. As I presented earlier, every single data glove is used for a single purposes. So it is essential to use an appropriate sensor for a data glove according to the purpose that we want to use the data glove. Also, the position of sensors is very important, as the position of sensors can affect the accuracy of feedback, and also if the sensors are not in a proper positions, they might cause some OHS risk. The number of sensors is another point that should be considered in designing data gloves. It is recommended to keep the number of sensors as small as possible, because we know that the manipulation and dexterity of hand when a data glove is used is decreased. So suppose that some sensors will add it to this data glove, so the robustness will increase, and consequently the manipulation will be decreased. Therefore, it is recommended to keep them small. And the other option the other factor that should be considered important is the connection of data glove to the receiver. Data glove are used for providing feedbacks. Therefore, it is important to provide a steady connection between data glove and the receiver. Therefore, when we design a data glove, the designer should ensure that the connection has been provided well. The other factor is suitability of the data gloves and its controllability for the task. Every data glove is designed for doing a specific task. Therefore, we should consider if the designed data glove are suitable for our purpose, and also it is easy to be controlled when we wear the data glove. The other option is wearability and suitability for individualization. Everybody has different size of hand and fingers. So when a data glove is designed, these different size of people should be considered. Also, they should be in a way that they are easy to wear by persons. With regard to the application of data gloves in manufacturing, and also the OHSand operational concerns that we could find in designing phase in different studies, we can say that there might be some potential OHS and operational risks that when a data glove is introduced to a system might emerge. Therefore, we need to consider some new known or emerging risks that are related to the intelligent function of a data glove when they are applied in for different purposes. To obtain studies that related to these concerns, we decided to conduct a review of the literature. For this purpose, we used ETS scientific resources such as IEEE, Compendex, Inspec, Scopus, and the Science Direct, and so on. And the studies were selected from 2000 to 2020 with using the combination of keywords that you can see in the table. In 6 columns, there are different kinds of keywords that we use for obtaining the literature related to the subject. As you can see, in each column, there are different terms that might be used for same purposes. For example, in column 3, you can see that we have data glove, electronic glove, sensor glove, smart glove, and intelligent glove. All of these kind of keywords are used for the same purpose, which is we call them data gloves. Conducting this strategy, we could find some papers related to our subject. We could find 15 papers that have investigated the occupational health and safety risk of the use of wearables. As you can see in the pie chart, we find papers that have investigated OHS risk of wearables according to the areas of their application. For example, 33% of publications is in the manufacturing area, 27% of in lab experiment, and also other sectors such as healthcare, entertaining, designing, and astronavigation. Among these 15 papers that have investigated OHS risk, only 7 of them have considered the OHS risk of use of data gloves, which 3 of them only is in a manufacturing sector. You can see the result of studies in this table. We found 7 papers that have investigated the OHS concerns toward related to the use of data glove. But as you can see, only 3 of them is in manufacturing sector. I don't want to go through the detail of every single paper, but as an example, I can say that in a study by Zucker and others in 2019, they used different kind of wearables such as augmented reality glasses, data gloves, speakers, headset, and a data wristband to propose an approach to increase users toward the usefulness of these kind of wearables and compare these different kind of wearables. Some studies have only studied a data glove, but some of them have studied different kind of wearables that, and a data glove is one of these kind of wearables. Conducting the same strategy, we could find some papers that have considered operational risk of wearables. We could find the 10 papers that 60% of them is in the manufacturing sector. Among these 10 papers, 6 of them have considered the operational concerns of the use of data glove, which 5 of them are in a manufacturing sector. You can see in the table the 6 papers that could be found about the use of data glove in different areas, which 5 of them are related to the use of them in manufacturing, and 1 of them is related to the use of them in lab experiment. And some of studies have considered different kind of wearables, such as the studies by Carson and others that a haptic, Omni, and a data glove is applied and has been compared. And some of them only consider the operational risk of one technology as data glove. To have an example for these studies, in a study by Coyne and others in 2019, they used different kind of wearables such as data glove and augmented reality glasses to see if the use of these 2 different type of wearables in an assembly situation will increase the number of assembly errors, which is a type of operational risk in manufacturing. Conducting these studies, we could find that some of OHS and operational concerns have been investigated in studies. We could find OHS risks such as fingers and hand injuries, feeling of comfort, ergonomic and physical effects on the user's body, and also users' perception toward the usefulness of data glove, and also ease of use of data glove have been considered. Also, some operational risks such as increasing risk of errors during tasks, increasing cycle time, and obstructing worker sensing are some of operational risks that have been studied. With regard to this result that we could find, we can say that limited number of studies have considered OHS and operational concerns of the use of data glove in manufacturing. As the use of data glove is increasing, also data gloves are a new and emerging technology. It's essential to take more attention to occupational health and safety, as well as operational concerns when a data glove is introduced to a manufacturing system, especially in the new generation of industry that we call them Industry 4.0. With regard to this conclusion, we are going to develop a risk management approach for the use of data glove in manufacturing. With this approach will help us to identify, analyze, and mitigate or prevent OHS and operational risk. Following, you can see the references that have been applied for preparing this presentation. Thank you for your attention, and if there is any question, I will be happy to answer you. In the studies that we have done, we can say that data gloves are not used widely in manufacturing, and they are in the beginning phase of designing system with this kind of new technology. Therefore, up to now, we could not find any claims on OHS injuries. But we could see that some studies have investigated some OHS concerns that we discussed them earlier. But since they are not very widely used, we could not find any claims, although there might be some claims that are in different languages that we don't have access to them.
So we hope that you enjoyed today's presentation, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any other comments or suggestions that you want to share with us. So again, have a nice day all and stay safe.